Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, today we're going to be doing a heater core replacement on this 2000 Ford Focus wagon. This procedure is going to apply for a 2000 through a model year 2004 Focus of any style, and will not apply to a 2005 and later because those have changed. The dashboard changes, the HVAC is changed, so on those it's a lot more difficult to get to the heater core. So we're not going to cover that in this video. This is strictly going to be a 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004 Ford Focus. So let's get in here and take a look at what we have to do to get to this heater core. Now don't be alarmed. This interior has been gutted because we had a really worn interior, and so we're just going to go ahead and do that, but it does make this easier because you got the carpet and everything out of the way already. The only things you'll have to remove to get to this, as far as the interior pieces, are going to be the console, and I would suggest taking off the two side panels up front. They got two screw-in type of plastic retainers on two on each side, and take those out. And I would suggest, like I said, I would suggest pulling your carpet back, because if you spill antifreeze, you don't want to get on your carpet. You can clean it off the floor a lot easier than you can out of the carpet. So I'm going to go ahead and run you through this. To get the console out of one of these cars, it's real easy. You have an armrest, sit kind of like this. I've already have this disassembled, but what you're going to have is, when it's in the car, this is looking from the rear forward. You're going to have an access panel right here. You're going to pull that thing off. It just pries out gently, and when you get into that, look at the back here of this, and you got two Phillips screws that hold this on. You got a little stand right here. It's not here, but trust me, it's going to be there. And you take those two Phillips screws out, pull that thing out here, and then if it's worn out and trashed and bent around like this one is, you can do this with it. Okay, that leads us to the console. How do you get the console out? It's very easy. You have a Phillips head screw under here. It's under a little cover. You'll need to pry that cover out. This is at the rear of the console. And then up in those two cup holders, in there and in there, there's a Phillips screw in each one of those. Take those out. You got 3 screws. When you do that, this console will lift out, and you may need to move the gear shift back. You can either put the key in and listen to the door dinger, or you can take a a flat screwdriver blade and put in there, stick it down that slot, move the gear shift back to where you need it. This will come out. So we're going to move this out of our way. Then our next item to remove is going to be this cover up here. Get in position. I'm just kind of sitting in the back seat back here for some reason. Anyway, you're going to have a cover here. This one's already loose and removed, but kind of sits under in this area here, and it's real easy to remove. This cover has a screw here, has a screw there. On the right side, it's a screw there at the same place, screw there at the same place. Take those screws out. You kind of work it down from the dashboard underneath that lip. Comes completely out. Just put it to the side. Next thing you're going to do, you have to remove this front to rear air distribution duct. This is what sends heat back to the floor, back in the back. That's this thing. So to get this out, it's real simple. The only thing that actually physically bolts it to the car is you got 2 studs. You got one here and you got one here. They both have one of these little spring steel washer things that screw down on here. Unscrew each of those, and you simply lift this thing up back here, get it off of those, weasel it around from under there, and then you can kind of take it and just work it over the gear shift, and voila, you're done. Okay, now that brings us to what we're going to have to remove next. So we got a few things we're going to have to remove, so I'm going to get things in position, get my tools ready, and we'll cover that in a minute. Okay, what we're doing on this side is we're on the driver's side where the gas pail is, and we're taking off the left-hand floor duct. And it simply just has back here, I've already dislodged it so I can make sure I knew what I was going to show here, but it's just got one of these little arrangements, this plastic bolt and a retainer. So we should be able to ease this thing on out now. So, oops, sorry, get that over there out of the way. All right, now. Next thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to unbolt that accelerator pedal. I can see, looks like 3 bolts on it. Those are probably 10s. There's one here, one back here, and one up here, looks like. Make sure that. Supposed to be an electrical connector on this, but I don't see one on this one. So, but that should get it loose. You're not going to take the cable off of it up there or anything like that. You're just going to remove those nuts and put them to the side. Try not to drop them down in that little chasm right there where the steering thing goes. In fact, I'm gonna take a little piece of cloth and put that in there, because you get a nut or something down in there, you'll never get it out. So we'll do that, and we'll just get that accelerator pedal just laid over, like I said, to the side, as you want it out of the way of this box. Okay, there's our accelerator pedal just laying around there after we took out those 3 nuts, 10mm right there. Next thing we're going to need to work on is we're going to get these 2 crossbar braces. We're going to take those out. You got one here, you got one over on the other side. They just got 3 10mm bolts that need to be removed. Just use a socket like that one. Just take them out like so. And then when you get that all loose, then they'll slide up here and you can just remove them out. Okay, what we're working on now, since we've got these 2 metal braces out of the way, is we're going to work on taking this this heater core cover, housing, whatever you want to call it. They call it different things, but for simplicity, let's just say that big piece of black plastic box, whatever. Anyway, I've already taken all the fasteners out of it and I've got it loose, so I'll tell you what you're going to do to get it loose. On this side over here, back at the back, whoops, you see right there my finger's pointing, there's a clip right there. There's a large clip. Just clip it out, the top comes, just push it out a little bit and pull it down, and then you got a Phillips screw right there. You'll have to take that out, and then up front you got 2 more, oops, sorry, where am I? 2 more clips right up here, right about right here and right about right there. You have to unclip those. I used a little set of picks I have here, just picked it out, and then we got to walk around the front here to the other side and I'll show you what's up over here. I was wondering how that box was going to come out, and I see now it'll become obvious here in just a second. But you've got here's the other clip I was telling you about right there in the front. That's it. But there's a screw right back here. Do not forget this screw. Another Phillips head screw looks like that. Be sure you take that out. It's right back here where my finger is. Alright, here's the magic to this, I hope. That's the first one of these I've ever done. So this thing actually comes in 2 pieces. So we should be able to work this one out here, like so. Oop, got a receipt in there for something. Huh. What's that say? Creamy vanilla air freshener. Yeah, okay. Well, alright, and then get that out of the way. It should go without saying that you've already disconnected your heater core hoses up front. And then this one comes out here. Now, I'm hoping that I can do this without having to go back in the house and look, but I think I'm going to have to. to get some more instructions. I'm working off a shop manual online, so that way you don't have to look it up. I can do all the looking up for you. So, okay, let me go check that, and we'll hopefully do the last step here. Okay, we're on the right side of the car now, the passenger side, and we're gonna have to do some finagling in here. This is called the heater core housing. This piece from here down, and this has got to come out. So I told you something a little wrong on the other. I said on the other side over there, I pointed to a plastic clip on the other side of this thing on the driver's side. I said it need to come loose. In the last step, it does not, but it comes loose now, and I got one that busted on me back here. So be real careful with these things. And then you have to take a screw out on the passenger side here. And it still seemed like it was fastened in pretty good. So I got looking. It might be easier just to look it through this little aperture here. But if you look back in there, I'm going to point to it with my pick. But make sure. Right there. Right there, there's a metal clip on the back of this box that has to come loose. So like that. Where is it? You hope it doesn't break, which this one did not. So and then it's still gonna have to. Looks like the heater box kind of sits under something there. Oh, I see the core. So let's go around the other side here, and let's go around the other side and see what we have to fasten this in over there, because we don't want to break the box. Heater core we don't care about because it's already broken, but the box we don't want to break. Might have another spring clip way back here. I don't see one, but I know you got a. Oops, you got a screw I had to take out there. You got a clip there, and there's the clip that I mistakenly told you about earlier in an earlier step. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of work on this a little bit and get this loose, and then we'll come back to this and I'll show you exactly what I did to get that out. So join you then. Okay, well, I guess this is why the gas pedal needs to come loose, because I got feeling around back here and this box is really seemed like it was still really in there. So I just run my hand around the back, this edge right here, and I got my fingers. There's another one of those. There's a plastic clip. I can feel that, and then back even further inside of this thing, like towards the center of the car, back around the back of this, I feel another one of those metal clips. So you're gonna have to weasel something in there to get that thing out. And like that, that little clip that sprung off over there. I mean, it's like, if you can see my hand here, it's around the back of the box, probably that far in. And the plastic one is just like this one. I can feel it. It's further. It's just around this corner up here. So we got to get those two things detached. Okay, back over here on the passenger side again. There's yet another screw I found that's right there. Here's the box, here's the front, here's the blower motor, here's under the floor. And you also may notice that there's some ants crawling around. I'm being invaded by ants in this car. They're trying to take over. So anyway, I've unscrewed that screw most of the way. And that was actually on the diagram that was following, but just couldn't exactly tell where it was yet. So oh, okay. There comes something. Alright, let's get that detached from the floor, hopefully. Oh boy, here come the ants too. I wonder that's where they were, I guess. Alright guys, I got to deal with the ants, and I see the core right there, that's it. So I'm going to have to figure out completely how to finagle this out of here, and I'll let you know how I did it. So see you in a little bit. Okay, here's the deal on this thing. This kind of comes out as a module. This here core sits in this box like this. It's got a little made to retain it in there, but it just basically sits in there. And what you have to do is, the way I got this to come out is, you, with your hoses in the engine compartment detached, which is easier to do from the bottom of the car, I might add, you need to pull this thing back as far as you can against these two little braces, I guess you'd say they are, and they kind of spring a little bit. They'll give you a little bit of movement, but just pull it back. You don't have to force it. And then you shoot your neighbor's dog, and then when you're done with that, you come back around, and what you're going to try to do, your two hoses, the pipes for the heater core are back here in this box, and you're going to weasel this thing around, and you want to be careful, not so much careful with the old one because you don't care it's busted, but the new one especially careful. And you're going to just kind of pull it around out from under the dash like this, and it's just going to come right out like this. The whole unit comes out. See, there's the hole where the hoses go in. So that's what you're trying to do. You got to get this passenger side out first. That's how it has to rotate out. You can't go that way with it. So don't even try to go that way with it. But here it is, and take a look in here. I've already seen some evidence. I don't know what that is laying in there. I've already seen some evidence of some leakage, so let's give this thing an exam here. Another air freshener. I want the busted plastic is there. Alright. Here's your hoses on the outside, and this is the seal, evidently. The seal should just slide off of here. I'm kind of doing this one-handed, so just bear with me. Don't tear your seal up if you can help it. Tell you what, these cars are actually, I give them the credit where credit's due. They seem to be built out of some good parts, except for stuff like this, but I've yet to see anything really break. Alright, there's your seal. Be sure you remember how that goes in. See, it says top. I don't know why it says top on it, but anyway, that's the orientation of it. And then it looks like there's nothing that really holds this thing in. So let's see if we can get it out. Yep, there it comes, right out. There's a leak. See there? It's leaking in the... And see, I guess it really shouldn't have leaked in the floor then, because it's got a drain. See, that's pretty smart. That's where you can tell manufacturers actually thinking a little bit, not just, you know. Oh, he's got his truck back. He had to get in a spare yesterday. That's the Pups truck. There he had a fill in, but see, it's got a drain on it down in there. So when this thing breaks, ooh, I'm about out of battery. I gotta hurry. But when this thing breaks, it should just leak out the bottom right here, right there. All right, guys, that's how you get this thing out. To get it back in, you just carefully reverse this way I showed you. Just be careful with it going back in, because you don't want to break the new core. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good one, and if you have any questions whatsoever, I'll be more glad to help you with this. If I omitted something I should have told you or showed you, that's entirely possible. So feel free to ask. And once again, this only is going to apply, as far as I know, to a 2000 through a 2004. That means 2005s on up, they're going to be some other deal. So probably a lot harder. I heard you have to take the whole dash out of those. Get that. So no longer should you, if you have one of these cars, should you have to ride around with no heat in it. This is not really that hard to do once you get in there. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys, and like I said, please feel free to ask any questions, and I will be more than glad to help you with it. See ya. Okay, I want to tack on a clarification to this video. In an earlier step, I had taken a screw out over here, and I wasn't really realizing what I was taking out. And this is actually, this is the heater core retainer, and this goes around. You see the heater core over there, it's got the tubes going through it. It kind of holds it in place, keeps it from moving around. So that wasn't supposed to come out at that point. That's why it was laying in here. So just want to clarify that. Leave that in, don't take that out until you get this thing out. So wow, son. It's all right. I'm getting cleaning up and getting ready to put her back in. Thanks guys for watching. Well, you know, I do a lot of work on these older used cars and trucks and things, and I always have to try to save money whenever possible. And one of the places I've really found a lot of savings is buying parts off the internet. I'm really into that now. I believe in it. And to show you, for instance, I had just bought a heater core for this 2000 Focus wagon that I picked up a week ago, and so this is original over there. This is a new one. It's a new heater core. It's not any kind of remanufactured. I don't know where it came from. I do know it came from someplace other than America, because the way the date is on there, if you read that date, it says 1301/31. Well, different countries do the sequence differently, and that's actually 131/13. So, but anyway, it's a good looking heater core, should work just fine. And to buy a replacement heater core to go up the street from the house here to AutoZone or O'Reilly or Advance, take your pick. To buy one off the shelf, even though they have it in stock and I could have it like right now, was $82 for a heater core. I ordered this one Wednesday evening, and it got here today in 2 days, and cost me $40 with shipping included, free shipping. So I saved over half the price. If I was willing to wait 2 days for it, I saved half the price. So in my book, that is hard to beat. So it does have a 1-year warranty on it, so if it fails in a year, I'll have to turn it in for a replacement, but I'm anticipating that it will not fail. I haven't had one fail yet. So anyway, that's a good way to do it, guys. Get on eBay and look around for parts and have a little bit of patience, and you'll save some money. You know, I'm not out to put a brick and mortar store out of business, but you know, those of us who don't have unlimited income, we have to save where we can. So thanks so much for watching. Have you a good one. Okay then, approximately 35 minutes later, it's all back together. Of course, now I haven't put in my console or any of that because I'm still I'm working on the interior, and I'm not ready to do that part yet myself, so I had another 15 or 20 minutes to it, but it shouldn't take you more than an hour to put all of it back together. Just take your time. And the only fiddly thing that I found that was kind of tedious is this part of this lower plenum that's in 2 pieces. The way it's made is it's got kind of a, this car is really, I mean, it's really engineered pretty well, because everything just is a precise fit. It's like more like something I'd expect off a Japanese car than a European sourced domestic. But either way, this thing has kind of got a, fits into a groove, these 2 sides do, so you kind of have to have it just exactly right for it to fit back up in here the right way. So just be careful and don't force it. If it's not fitting, just keep trying it at a different angle, and it'll finally just click right up in there, and you can snap your snaps there. But it all goes back together. Like I said, it's just pretty simple. It's not that bad. You do one time, you can do the next one a lot faster. And just so you know that I didn't cheat and do all this before I even made the videos, there's the box for the new one there's the old one. Did I do that with a new heater core? Nope. Did I do this with a new heater core? Nope. So there's that. And peek down in there, you can see the brand new heater core pipe right there in the center frame. So it's in there. And I would suggest, especially if you got one that's got higher miles on it, that you may want to take this time to flush the coolant and probably put on a couple more heater hoses. They're not expensive, and that's just good insurance. and they come back into the back of this. This is your thermostat housing. This is this plastic, thermoplastic deal there that's notorious for cracking. So just pay careful attention to that. Just keep an eye on it at all times. But so that should get you going, guys. You shouldn't be having to, for now, you shouldn't be having to ride with a coat on all winter because your heat doesn't work. And especially the most important thing I know a lot of you folks seem to appreciate is that things like this will keep you out of the dealership, or keep you having to pay expensive fees for shop charges, because I think they're like $47, $50 an hour, something like that now. So this would probably be, I don't know, they probably, without even walking out and looking at it, they'd probably tell you it'd be $500 to put a heater core in. And this heater core cost me $40, and 3 hours of my time taking it easy. And it's just simple stuff, you know. Working on car stuff like this is just a simple matter of taking things apart, taking bolts out, keeping track of the bolts, keeping track of the parts, and putting it back in reverse order. That's all you have to do. You don't have to know anything about cars. If you can walk and breathe and chew bubble gum, then you can do this. You know, just don't look at it with the opinion that it's a battle that you've got to win. You know, just take your time and just take as much time as you need to, but you know, it'll come together for you. That's how I learned to do it. So anyway, please feel free to comment, subscribe, and no BS comments about, oh, it took you longer than it ever should have. I don't want to hear that. I don't listen to those anyway. So we're on to other things now. We're going to do some interior cleaning and get ready to pick up another interior for this car. And so that should conclude the heater core saga. Thanks a lot, as always, for watching, and appreciate all your comments. And we'll see you in the next series. Bye now.